Backwards.
No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Now Locke throwing on 2nd down. That'll be caught right side by Hamilton. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Hamilton, the 4th-round pick, had a very productive career at Penn State where he was teammates with Saquon Barkley. And the tandem of he and Cortland Sutton brings some solid youth to that Bronco receivers room. And now the 24-year-old Hamilton hoping to build on what was a 30-catch campaign from a season ago as a rookie. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
60 Pittsburgh, 80 weapons. Hey, echo. Check Mike 54. Let's go.
On 2nd and 1, Locke. He's going to sling this deep downfield, and that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Locke going to throw. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down. We documented it last week. They played so well defensively. 4 interceptions. Tried to get their hands on another one there.
And when you've had 4 the previous week, you are just itching for more the very next week. And there was a great opportunity. It went by the wayside. But let's not underscore what's going on with this defensive unit. They are around the ball every time it's being put in the air.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Cousins. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make 2nd down pretty tough. So they had the big loss on that 1st down pass play and facing a 2nd and long.
Receiver. Check. Hey, check Mike 47. Check Mike 47. I got you.
To throw is Cousins. Gets it off to Freeman. No gain there, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal.
Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping.
3rd and long for Cousins. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Pulled in at the 24. A nice job on the return there. 16 yards. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left. We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak can have them out of the playoffs So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, he couldn't turn it into much more.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. And from down in Miami, an update. The Dolphins, they're out to an early lead over the Bills. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. Cousins on 1st down. He's got Freeman here. It's complete.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
Watch the screen. Watch twist. Watch twist.
A carry for Devontae Freeman, who missed most of last season. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down.
Get him. Get him. Get him. 47's the mic. 47's the mic.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And he's able to find Diggs. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. First grab so far for Diggs. It's a 1st down. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
10 more yards. Justin Simmons on the tackle. 10 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd.
So not quite a 1st down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. No score after 1 on EA Sports.
Wide, get wide. 36.
On 2nd down, Freeman. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll in fact tackle him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 17-yard line. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it in, throw it, go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
I got you, punk. First. 47's the mic, boy. 47. Hey, Alpha.
Cousins. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Good route here.
From the gun, here's Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line. A bad third down mistake there.
Points were already on the board in their mind. And that's the worst part about it, right? Because it's just like in golf. Never count it in the cup until it rolls in there. Otherwise, you can really get messed up with your scores. In this case, you know they thought, hey, at least 3, maybe even a chance to get 6. It's a little bit demoralizing going off the field. Now that you've turned it over and you come up empty.
Yeah, if he holds on to that, at least the field goal on 4th down, now they lose it. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Locke. Hauled in by Anderson, left side. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That's a 12-yard gain now on back-to-back plays.
First down, Broncos.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. Steps away to his left. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Now left side on the swing pass. Give him 7 on the play, and it'll be a 2nd down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are. You know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
Here's Locke. Got a man. He finds Sanders. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. The Vikings going to signal for their first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. They'll look to run with Freeman. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. They'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. 2 minutes on the clock in what's been a scoreless first half. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and score. And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. Andy Janovich, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Extra point from McManus is good. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand in first place in their division, looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can try to have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Von Miller, what a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Throwing, Cousins. Smith catches left side. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
On 3rd down, Cousins. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL. 70-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Sanders has it over the middle. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field.
A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. That late in the clock, 2nd quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may have forced them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Cousins now, only one pass has hit the ground for him, 10 of 11 thus far. It's 1st and 10. Now Cousins. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. It's picked up by the Broncos. They find some open field here. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And this is going to be brought back for a Denver touchdown. And he has great speed, defensive back speed. Once he got it and took off, there was no catching it.
And I know every team tells you to hustle no matter what the play, but there was no chance of catching him. Maybe if it had been a defensive tackle running with the ball, but not in this case.
McManus's point after is good, and that'll make the score 14-0. This is taken about 7 yards deep. So we come upon halftime with the visiting Broncos taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
That's it, baby. We gonna work.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they felt like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a run for Freeman. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to them.
And Freeman lost the football. It's picked up by the Broncos.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Harrison Smith. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. Philip Lindsay, the intended target.
The Vikings take over 6-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Trying to lay one up deep. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kareem Jackson. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And last time, one play interception, so this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Deion Jones, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. This is taken at the 23. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially given 15. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. On 2nd down now, it's Freeman. And some room to roam now. A big run there by Freeman. 43 yards on the ground. And a guy that can change the game, shows you a glimpse of it right there, taking the ball down inside the red zone.
It just tells you how tough it is for a defense. You just hold on all game and essentially hold your breath. Will they break a big one on us at any point during the game? It just happened right there.
This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Todd Davis. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
All right, work with me, partner. This is a classic understatement. Their execution has been very poor. Last 3 drives, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Winning football? We're not seeing it right now.
They'll try to get the ground game going with Freeman. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Locked to throw on 2nd down. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Sanders. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Emmanuel Sanders, 81 yards. And the Broncos push further out in front. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate, and, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Out of the gun, they give to Freeman. It's a 6-yard run, leaves him with about a foot or so here still to go to hit the marker with 3rd down coming up. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. The left side caught by Diggs. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. The Vikings first down. Diggs able to find his way free and get the catch from Cousins. Cousins now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Runs through the contact and to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Kill.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. To throw on 2nd and 6. Cousins. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Von Miller, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long.
4-7's the mic. 4-7's the mic. Let's go. Hey, Foxtrot. 47.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 44-yard line. On 1st down, Freeman. And he loses the football a 2nd time. It's picked up by the Broncos. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Well, partner, I think it's safe to say they can mark this down as extremely frustrating. Here we are in the 4th quarter, and that last play, that turnover, I think it epitomizes what happened to them all day on offense.
So symbolic, and that's why they're still being shut out. Now a carry for Lindsey, and he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Tackle made there by the UCF man, Mike Hughes. You don't see that a ton, do you? Where the cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out.
That's caught inside the 20. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. A huge play there for Denver. 53 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. They'll run. It's Lindsey. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion, because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk during the week?
I think the more that you talk about it, the more that you emphasize it, the more sometimes it comes true for your team.
They'll run. Here's Janovich, the fullback. And that play's not going to get him in as he stopped right at about the line of scrimmage. They're held again, and do we have a goal line stand brewing? It's 3rd and goal. Block now to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Robbie Anderson, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos push further out in front. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Cousins to throw it. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
He was brought down by Von Miller. Brings up 3rd down.
Oh, it's a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and inches.
Still want to be prepared for a pass.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the 1st down as well. They run, Devontae Freeman. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. From the 44, Cousins has got it complete to Diggs, right side. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. The Vikings going to signal for their first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads.
And the Broncos get there and take him down. Von Miller in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. Cousins now. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Bryce Callahan.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
They'll run here with Lindsey. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. Well, we talked about Philip Lindsay so much last year, but it bears repeating. Undrafted in 2018. The Broncos would sign him in May, and that was a good decision. He would have a 1,000-yard season, 9 touchdowns en route to a Pro Bowl appearance. So from undrafted to playing in the Pro Bowl in 10 months, that's pretty clean living for Philip Lindsay.
And it's 3rd down.
On the set. 52. Hey, here we go.
So this one will wind up a Denver victory, and this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
Well, they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field, so you've got to like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both sides will end up getting one.
So for Denver, they keep pace for a playoff spot as they move to 7-3. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, we'll see how this affects their playoff standing as they fall to 7-4 now on the year. And they will finally get an extra week to heal up a bit as they will get the late bye in Week 12. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.
him in the bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number.
Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Yeah, flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad